You're listening to the Smash Bros. Cast, episode 11. I'm your host, N64 Josh, my co-host and sparring partner, Nightcrawler. What's up, man?
How's it going?
Good, dude. I'm tired, but we're bringing the energy tonight, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's like, yeah. What?
We've both been up since 4 a.m. our respective times, right? So.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We've got stuff to talk about. We've got some E3 leaks. We've got some E3 news. We've got some tournament news. We got some character discussions. And then we're going to look at Corrin tonight for our character. I'm excited for this one. I'm looking forward to it. So before we jump into the news and everything, how have our matches been this last week? Give me a little rating on how our last few matches have been.
We kind of just sat down. I think probably what was just supposed to be a little sparring session last night. I think we played for at least an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I was trying out Corrin. I was having fun with. I had played on Friday night with Nintendo David, and I had just been jumping around character to character and getting the floor mopped with my choices. So I did end up, I think I beat him once, and it was with Corrin. So I was having fun with, especially with his, I guess you can play either gender with Corrin, but with that down B counter was saved me coming back, and I think you felt the wrath of that a little bit last night as well. So just having fun with that, and I've been kind of mixing it up with Bayonetta and Corrin a little bit now, so it's been fun.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. One of the things I liked the most was just playing against a different character, and early on we had some matches with different people that like to use Corrin, and I really got beat down. And so it was interesting. For me, it was like I couldn't juggle you as much because you had an easy counter for it, and so I had to start anticipating, and then delaying my attack, waiting for your counter, and then go in and maybe get it one juggle, maybe two. It was hit or miss, but then there were still times that you'd trap me in that, and it was like, oh.
Yeah,
game over.
And that lance move can be unpredictable as well, and it's kind of a cross between, I mean, Marth and all the other Fire Emblem characters, but also thrown in there a little bit with like Zero Suit Samus's Paralyzer.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of have a mix up there, and you can kind of just mix up your moves with how you approach it, and the range that she can cover is pretty crazy as well.
She still didn't like my fireballs when she was on the edge.
No, I think that's user error on my part a little bit.
So, well, I do want to say what's up, Swing Shifter, Super Nintendad, and Shell Shock, for the Night Owls that are hanging out with us. We do this show live on twitch.tv/N64Josh, 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That might be changing very soon here. We're still just working on scheduling and whatnot, but we do it live. So if you stay up late, want to hang out with us, it's twitch.tv/N64Josh.
I think most of these crazy people are East Coasters as well.
I know. Yeah, you guys are nuts. So we're glad you're here. We're glad you're with us live. And if you're just listening, hey, thank you for that too. We're very thankful. Or if you're watching on YouTube, because we're also there. So, yeah, thanks guys. We appreciate it. So, Smash news. E3. Anyone who is planning on attending E3 can pre-register to guarantee a time to play Smash 5. You need to choose between For Glory or For Fun. And we kind of want to hear from you guys. If you end up going, or you end up even just signing up for this thing, like, maybe somebody let us know the process. And after you've been, like, we definitely want to hear from you. Tweet at us, jump into the Discord, something. We want to know. We want to know what that hands-on experience with Smash was like. So this is really awesome that Nintendo is doing this, because the E3s that I've been to, E3 and PAX, like, I stood in line to play Halo 5, out of control, dude. Like, I think it was like 3 hours I stood in line, right? And then,
yeah, I've only heard horror stories. I've never been to E3 myself, but yeah, I mean, this just, I think it just frees you up that you can. I know. I think Xbox is out of the show floor. I don't think they're doing anything on the show floor. So if you're wanting to go play their games, you're gonna have to go somewhere else. But this frees you up to be able. You have your time. It's kind of like what people in the industry get to have. They set up an appointment with developers, and they get to come and just kind of get their either behind closed doors meeting, or sometimes they have to wait in line as well. But they're setting up stuff with this website that they have, that there is the professional content creators, like for the media outlets and other people that have the industry passes, and then there's also the gamer passes, so they can control who's there for what purposes and prioritize people as they need to. But it's allowing everyday gamers that are buying those passes for E3 to kind of have that experience, and also prioritize their time and get to play either other games in the Nintendo booth or go next door and see the Sony booth, and just make the most out of their time that they're there, because those tickets are expensive to be at E3. So
They totally are. They totally are. And I mean, I didn't even stand in line to play Zelda when that was the all over the show floor at E3 a few years ago. Same with Mario Maker. I was like, I don't have the time. Like, I don't have the time. Like, you literally stand for hours, and it just wasn't worth it. So it's really, really a good thing that Nintendo is doing here. And if you are going, you have to register. And so I have included a link in the show notes. The show notes are going to be found at n64josh.com/SBC11. And you'll see the first link in the show notes. Even if you're just listening on your phone or whatever, if you open up the app, your notes will be right there, and the links are clickable. So that will take you to a post I have that will then give you the instructions for registering. Because if you are going, you have to register. It's not. I believe you will get an email, but I would just cover all my bases if you're wanting to play and you don't want to have to stand in line. So
yeah, and I think they're giving you kind of like, from reading the post, I think it's kind of like if you buy concert tickets online or something like that, where it'll be a QR code on your phone that they can scan, I think. So it'll just be there that you can have on your person.
That's nice. Very cool.
I did also see something, and we didn't put this in the show notes, but make sure you take your Switch to E3, because I think it was a tweet from like a marketing director for Nintendo that said they were going to have special pins that they were going to be handing out to people if they saw you playing your Switch at E3 on the show floor. So definitely something that would be a collector's item that people will be looking to get.
Oh, for sure. For sure. So if you get extra, you guys know where you can send them. just saying. I know where you can send them. So, yeah. Next thing is kind of still E3 news. Smash Bros. Tournaments are going to be held after E3 in various locations in Japan. So what I find really interesting about this is, like, one, Smash is fairly far along if this is taking place. I'm assuming it's going to be the same build that's at E3. We don't have any idea how many characters will be playable, what characters will be playable, that kind of thing. But I'm assuming it's that same build, and they have different venues picked with different being put together by different organizations, different esport organizations, and there's I think at least 3 different locations for these tournaments in Japan. This is crazy. Like, Nintendo is holding tournaments, multiple tournaments, for a game that hasn't even been released yet. This is, as far as I know, with Nintendo, this has never happened. And so I love this form of marketing, honestly. I think this is amazing, because this is going to be people showing up, having their phones out, taking pictures, probably shooting video, whatever. Like, just, dude, the internet's going to explode with these people playing these tournaments and the things that are, I mean, I can't believe it. I can't believe Nintendo is so behind esports, and I love it. I love it. I never would have expected it, and good on them. You know,
it's kind of this. Well, this kind of goes back to, I think when they first announced the E3 tournament, there was also talk that the game was going to be playable shortly thereafter in Japan. So I guess this is what they were talking about in that announcement. And we were speculating that it was going to be kind of like the Mario Odyssey tour that we had in the States last year after E3. So hopefully, maybe if it goes well in Japan, it translates over here and we get some kind of tour or location venue that we can go to around the States that we can get to have our hands on it as well.
Yeah, I mean the assumption is that Best Buy will get it like it normally does. You know, that's been happening for a while. I think Mario Kart on the Wii U, that happened where you could go to various Best Buys and play the game shortly after E3. But these are full on tournaments, you know. And the other thing I wonder too is like how is Nintendo going to be holding another Nintendo World Championship this year? And
did they take a year off in between? They didn't have one last year, right? But they had one last year, but they didn't have one the year before last, right?
I don't remember, but I get the feeling that because it's such great marketing, I mean, literally it was like a 4-hour or 6-hour spot on Twitch and YouTube and everywhere else that they could just have people competing. The numbers were pretty good. So,
the finals head to head were a couple early levels in, I think, the Sand Kingdom. I think is what they did. I think they did the boss battle for the Sand Kingdom as the grand final for the World Championships last year.
Yeah, to promote Odyssey. So I mean, depending on the release of Smash and depending on what games they go with, there's a chance that we could see Smash in yet another competitive form via the Nintendo World Championships. So it's just really, to me, it's really cool what Nintendo's doing, and it's very surprising, and I want to see more of it. I mean, even the fact that we've seen them support ARMS and Splatoon the way they are, like it's forward thinking, and it's reaching another audience. It's reaching the more hardcore, the people that are into the competitive side of these games, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's why we're here doing this, because of that very thing, you know.
Yeah. And even going back just a little bit when we were talking about the reserve tickets for E3, they kind of revealed a little bit of information with the fact that they're bringing back For Glory and For Fun like they have currently online. Mm-hmm. And you and I were talking a little bit last night while we were sparring, just that maybe hopefully those modes can have either a little more fleshed out options for how you play it, or maybe we were talking about just the differences in how we grew up playing Smash on like the 64, how I always played stock with my friends and you had always played time mode. So maybe trying to, and the biggest thing for me when I'm playing the For Fun, if I ever make the mistake and click that instead of swiping over to For Glory, it's 4 people sitting around with 2 that are trying to stay out of the action, and then they're kind of just the nature of the time attack is just waiting for somebody to kind of pounce. And so hopefully maybe there's some different options that they can throw in there, and we'll see, I guess, with people that get on the show floor and are able to tell us kind of what the difference is maybe between For Fun and For Glory.
Yeah, I mean, just my guess is you're going to have 1v1 or 4-man free-for-all. You know, is my guess. But talking about like online and stuff, could we see up to 8-player Smash like we had on the Wii U? You know, potentially. I can't imagine the lag, but
yeah, your Switch might get a little hot in your lap too if you're playing handheld.
Yeah, no kidding. Just melt your Joy-Cons. So, okay, so moving right along, there are some leaks, right? And again,
gotta bust out our salt shaker, the grains of salt, right?
Yeah, exactly. I like to talk about these things more for the fun of it, not because I actually think they're legit. So we saw somebody print what looked like an internal email for Nintendo, and it talked about we'll just focus on the Smash section here, that during the Treehouse, Nintendo Treehouse, they would be having a character reveal immediately following the E3 Direct video. I don't think this is right, but I could definitely see something like this happening. The other thing that I think will happen though when it comes to the Treehouse is I think you're going to have more Switch news during the video presentation, and then immediately following in Treehouse is going to be 3DS games. That's kind of what I'm thinking. They may, not that they're not going to have some Switch titles, but if you think back to last year, as soon as Treehouse started, it was Metroid Prime or Metroid 2 Samus Returns. And so if we are, it could be Luigi's Mansion that we see more of, because I don't think we're going to see.
We don't have a release date for that yet, right?
Not that I'm aware of, and I don't think Nintendo's going to use up a lot of that the E3 Direct video for 3DS stuff or 2DS stuff.
Yeah, because I think historically it's anywhere from 26 to 35 minutes or something like that. So it's quick when you're going through 8 or 9 different titles.
Yeah, or 16. That's how many SKUs are at GameStop. So who knows?
That's true.
Who knows if that ends up being the case? That's crazy. So, but even if that's the case, if this for some reason somebody really did print this and take a picture of it, maybe they forwarded it to the wrong person. Who knows? The other thing that's pretty funny about it is the Yoshi game. They call it like Yoshi's Flipping Out or something like that.
Yeah, Flip World or something like that.
Yeah, it's like it just seems a little bit strange, but even this is happening. Hey, the sooner
Flipping
we get,
Island, Flipping Island.
Yeah, Flipping Island. So the sooner we get more information about characters, the better, as far as I'm concerned. Like I want to know some more stuff about this game. Like who's in this game? Who's in this game? We're actually going to speculate some characters next week, just between the two of us. And man, who is in this game? And here's a question I'll just throw out there for you, right on, putting you on the spot.
All right.
Do you think movesets are going to get changed that much? Like, take Mario, for instance.
Mario is the biggest question mark because Flood is currently in the game. And but Luigi doesn't have a vacuum. So, I don't know. It's Link is going to be Breath of the Wild Link, so at least that's what the trailer showed. So Link and Toon Link have pretty much a similar moveset, but it's a little bit different. But could we have 2 different Mario? Like, besides maybe Dr. Mario just gets a reskin and he's a secondary option for original Mario, because I guess Flood and pills instead of fireballs are the biggest differences on Dr. Mario and regular Mario, I think.
Yeah, my question with Mario is, are we going to see Cappy instead?
Yeah, and that's what I think. Like, if we maybe move Dr. Mario to somewhere else, then maybe Cappy Mario can take the place of Dr. Mario, or who knows? Maybe we go from 59 characters to 109 characters. So
yeah, and Super Nintendo says King Hippo, please, which I think would be great. We got Little Mac in the last one. One of the things I would like to see is that we see like Mr. Game & Watch, and even the way he moves, and it's kind of screwy with the frames and everything. I would love to see if King Hippo was in the game. I want to see an 8-bit sprite for his character model. Maybe do the other one as well. Do one that like kind of resembles Little Mac now, but I think after playing so much Odyssey and seeing the transition from 3D to the old school 2D, like I want him to kind of double down on that a little bit more. Like I wouldn't mind seeing the original Super Mario Brothers model for Mario, like again, he flings his pixelated cape. The fireballs could look little tiny, just like they did back in the day, or even be bigger ones that just had the same animation, the same sprite. I would love that kind of stuff. But I know I like what you're saying about Luigi and his vacuum. Like, I'm guessing that he will have that this time around because of the fact that there's
re-release.
2 Luigi's Mansions, and this Luigi's Mansion is so close. He could use a little bit to differentiate between him and Mario, and whereas Mario had FLUDD that pushed people away, Luigi could have that vacuum that could pull people in,
or make it part of, instead of having the same grapple as Mario, make the vacuum his grab, like kind of like Pac-Man has that kind of tractor beam that pulls people in a little bit.
Super Nintendo says Cat Luigi.
No, Cat Peach, right? Isn't it Cat Peach?
Right. Right. So, as far as some other character discussion, I did grab a post from the Smash subreddit.
And that was I think that was the top thing, wasn't it?
Pretty close. Yeah, it was pretty close to the top. And here's what it says. It says, and I have the link included if you guys want to jump into the conversation on the subreddit, but it says, could Sora from Square Enix Kingdom Hearts series be the character to bridge the gap between Disney and Nintendo? Would Disney characters' inclusion in Smash be a good idea? So I'm going to ask that to chat. Do you guys think it's a good idea? Go ahead and let us know. And Crawler, what do you think?
Well, there's an Incredibles movie coming out this summer too. So do we want Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl in there?
Yes, we do.
I mean, we can open up a whole can of worms, and we can go from 59 to who knows how many. If they want to have a games of service and they make a deal with with Disney, but that's also kind of going the opposite direction because they're working with Universal and Illumination. So
it's true.
Yeah, so maybe we get Minions instead.
Minions in Smash. Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine the memes. I cannot even
Don't
imagine.
at me.
Right. Interesting thing from the chat. Super Nintendo says Cappy will be his own character. And it'll be on your Mii. I wonder if Cappy could play like Kirby. And
yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think he could be like Kirby as well.
Just kind of... The other thing I would love with Cappy is if he was the kind of thing where, like, I don't know how they would pull it off, but maybe because you know how you take control of things in Odyssey with Cappy. When you throw it on, you become that character, but you have to move in certain ways. Like, even if momentarily you could take control of somebody and walk them off the edge. Or...
Yeah, all I can think of when you're talking about that is the brain bugs from Limbo. Where you just started walking, you couldn't control what you were doing. So take control of somebody's character and just start walking them off the edge.
There's I can't remember which, there's a first person shooter, I believe, or maybe it's third person. I can't remember now off the top of my head which game it was. But if you got hit by a certain item, it would reverse all of your controls.
Oh, that would be horrible.
Yeah, so that could also be. I mean, it'd be super OP. We're just speculating, being goofballs at this point. But I mean, really, the possibilities are endless with what they're going to be able to do. But back to Sora. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. Nintendo's kind of partnering with Universal here, like.
Yeah, Mario Land or Kingdom Land or whatever it's going to be is being built at Universal. So
yeah. So I would say the likelihood is probably pretty slim, but you never know. And the other thing is, we also are seeing Nintendo teaming up with Nickelodeon for the Ninja Turtles and Splatfest.
I think they had a SpongeBob one too, didn't they? A little while ago.
I don't remember.
Maybe
but
not. I don't know.
They may have. The other thing too, though, is like you've got Bowser in Wreck-It Ralph. There is another Wreck-It Ralph coming out. Maybe. Who knows? I mean, maybe everybody plays nice. You just never know. And Nintendo doesn't have the best track record.
But Smash has a really good track record. So.
Yeah. That's true. Maybe people will want their characters there. So who knows? I mean, at this point, I mean, anything could happen, right? So
yeah, because I mean, Spyro and Crash are supposed to be on the roster potentially.
That would be so funny. He better have his blowhorn. That's or his
Yeah,
megaphone.
the megaphone to yell at Nintendo headquarters.
Yeah, he's got to have that. But I mean, I don't know much about the Kingdom Hearts series. I don't know about much about Sora or anything other than I know I see him with like a giant key and that kind of stuff. He looks like a Final Fantasy character to me. You know, if I'm offending somebody by that, sorry, but that's just kind of what I see. The games, they look fun. They look interesting, but yeah, I just don't know how much we see that that coming over. But I love this question, and so I'm going to make sure we check the board weekly, the Reddit to try to grab this question. And I want to hear from you guys. If you're watching this on YouTube, let me know in the comments. You know, if you're on the n64josh.com, there's a comment section for these notes as well. Like, what do you think about Sora being in Kingdom Hearts? Is that something you'd want? Is that something you think would be cool? Not cool? You know, let us know. So, let's talk about our Smash character for this week, and we are going with Corrin. You were playing with him, and doing pretty good. We were having a pretty good time fighting. We both grabbed a video. I'll let you talk about yours. Yours is from My Smash Corner.
Yep. And I sat down and watched the whole thing, and I haven't had a chance to go sit down and practice some of the things yet in training mode or anything like that. But just the walkthroughs that he gave in the videos kind of show you a little bit. There are some stun lockings that you can do on, I think he said specifically fast falling characters, where you have to be precise with your distance that you're in between somebody, and your movement to allow that stun lock to happen, and just move them all the way to the edge if you want. But he did outline, I think, two specific different ways you can edge guard with the Dragon Claw and then just also forward smash, two different ways that cover all four of the recoveries that you can do. So neutral recovery, roll, jump, and attack, and it covered all of them. But there are specific counters that can be done that you have to watch out for. But the biggest thing with Corrin is he kind of, I think, had done a Bayonetta video before he had done this Corrin video, and was talking about how they work kind of differently based on how Bayonetta is heavy on combos, and Corrin is a lot on countering and using her B moveset more so than like Bayonetta's A moveset to kind of work off of stuff. But just mobility and distance that she can cover, especially with that pike, is pretty fun.
Yeah, so if you're interested in playing Corrin, we've got two videos, one from My Smash Corner, one from Izaw's Smash. You can check those out. You can watch them right in the show notes if you want. I wasn't able to find a pro to watch. Like, I want to try to find pros to watch when this with this segment. I wasn't able to find anybody in all the videos I searched for. But when we, next week, the next character we look at, we'll do our best to make sure that's there for you. As far as Smash practice goes, again, for me, movement. The one thing I really focused on was trying to jump less, as far as like spending like a lot of time in
quick
the
jumps
air.
is what we're doing, more so than those big jumps.
Yeah, the little tap jump or whatever. Well, I think tap jump's actually with the stick, isn't it? So just the little
just the short hops.
Yeah, the little short hops is what we've really been focusing on. But the other thing has just been that running, like back and forth, not rolling, but just really getting some better movement down, and just really trying to set myself up as Mario, just trying to set myself up for those grabs, and so. What the other thing I've kind of been working on a little bit is my edge game, but I still just jump off the edge and die. Every time I try it, I typically just die. Like I'm just not there yet. I need to set up the practice mode and really work on that. But One of the
I think both you and I have gotten better with our aerial play as well, on just juggling someone once we have them up in the air. I think I was watching how both of us were playing last night, and you had me up there for quite a bit on some games, and I was able to kind of just carry you up there a few times, and even finish some with those just up smashes while we were up in the air.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. The last thing for me as far as practicing and taking away from what we did yesterday is I was really trying to mix things up. And at one point I hadn't grabbed you in a couple of matches or whatever, and then you were like, "Oh, you're back to Old Faithful again," right? Like I think I had actually gone down like 2 stocks to none on you, and then it was like, okay, I need to reevaluate what I'm doing here. I still lost the match, I'm fairly certain, but I was able to at least knock down 2 of the stocks. And as soon as the first stock was gone, I immediately went into the grab and was able to get my combo started that way. And so, but then I was like, you know what? I'm going to retreat. I'm just going to throw fireballs and see if I can bait you to come in. Sometimes it could work and get you with the uppercut, or the up B or whatever. And then as soon as if I got you to the edge, man, it was just fireballs for days trying to, and so what I'm feeling like from our practicing is that on the fly, I can switch my playstyle from an offensive to a defensive, from being really aggressive to just kind of holding back, and it's allowing me to mix things up and make it a little more interesting versus just like the continual, like, okay, I'm just going to keep jumping at you and trying to get my back air over.
Yeah,
and over
there's
and
a
over.
definite difference from even 2 weeks ago. I mean, I feel like it's changed just even since we were talking with Wizard, and just that kind of has done a shift into how we approach it a little bit.
I think one of the things is I feel like I'm slowing down and thinking about the match a little bit more, and thinking about okay, one of the things I love to do with Mario is do a short hop to a back air and then immediately follow it with a tilt. But the problem is, if I'm not careful with that, if I'm in too close with it, it doesn't separate. There's not enough pushback, and I immediately am open to get hit. And so I was paying attention to that last night, and if I was able to land that hit from far enough away, I was able to then get out before you could land a hit on me, because I think the frames, I think it's a little bit slower after that just getting back to my stance. So I have to be careful, because it's one of those things that it was almost like a Street Fighter thing, where it was like, what's the main combo in Street Fighter? Strong, what do they call it? Fierce kick to sweep, right? It was like the first combo everybody learned, the 2-hit combo. You could hit them twice, do it, and then do it again. And now they've got stars. Now you can go for your throw, that kind of stuff. But it's like, that's like the most basic combo in Street Fighter. And so I'm trying to avoid those traps or those bad habits that I could fall into. And so, yes, this can work for a 2-hit combo, but I have to make sure it's set up right, because if I don't, I'm immediately going to take damage after. How about you? What do you feel like you worked on the most this last week?
Well, like I said, on Friday I played with Nintendo David, and I was just mixing up characters who I was playing with, and kind of some characters I hadn't really played as really at all, and just kind of seeing those move sets and kind of getting to experience how they move, how they recover, what those B moves are, what their standard attacks are, and just kind of experiencing that. And then, like I said, I found something that was I'd played a little bit as Corrin, but hadn't really done a lot, and kind of played around with the move sets there, and found something that was fun, and I had a little bit of success with, and kind of just took that and ran with it when we scrimmed last night. So, and it was fun.
And I would say it was fairly even, we would trade quite often. What was strange is we would trade with like, you know, maybe one of us would only lose one stock. You know.
Yeah, there was. I think you had a 3-stock game and I had a 3-stock game. I think that was it. Otherwise, it came down to it would usually be within probably 15 to 25% that we would start last stocks each. So
yeah,
pretty even.
It's getting to be a lot of fun, and we didn't have much lag, which was super nice. Like that was really
until
nice.
You said it.
Until I mentioned it, yeah. Then it started lagging. So, but okay. Well, lastly, is I do have a practice video, and it is from Zero. It's how to train, and it's a fairly long video, but it's got very good stuff. Zero knows what he's talking about for sure, and so it. Yeah, check that out. It's gonna be right here in the show notes. You can watch it there, and that's it. Let's put a bow on this thing, man. Where can people find you?
You can find me hanging out in Josh's Discord. Be sure to check us out there. It's a great place to come and talk any kind of video games, Nintendo. We have all sorts of. We like to talk about God of War as well in there a little bit. So come check us out there. You can also find me on Twitter. I'm at Nightcrawler724. Nightcrawlers without the E.
Right on. Okay, you can find me Twitter, Twitch, all the above, N64Josh. The song you're hearing right now, Metal Melee. Go to n64josh.com/Metal Melee. It'll take you right to the video. If you want to get yourself a free book from Audible, you can go to audibletrial.com/SBC. The chair I'm sitting in is from OPC. Go to opc.com. Use coupon code N64Josh to save $10. The show notes for this episode, n64josh.com/SBC11. Like Nightcrawler said, join our community. n64josh.com/Discord. Come hang out. Good people. Play Smash with us. It's a lot of fun. We really enjoy it. If you have any questions, anything like that, again, Twitter's a good spot to hit me up. The Discord, that kind of stuff. Thank you so much for watching, for listening. If you're listening on iTunes, you want to leave us a review, that would be awesome. Thank you so much, and we will see you in the next episode.
See you guys.